I know that it's Wednesday morning when you're watching this, or afternoon. I know that episode 9 is coming. I know, but I got it out, okay? Even at the last minute, I got it out. And I want to thank you for staying here and watching, those 5 or 10 of you that are left, hanging in there with me. Eventually, I'll get it together. How you doing, Ray of Sunshines? I am your girl, Talisa Ray, wife coach. We are reviewing Married at First Sight, season 14, episode number 8, Striking Balance. Okay? Like, you got to find a good balance, a happy medium. And it seems like some of our couples are. So what we're going to do is not a recap, just the review. So I'm just going to give you my opinion on the couples. We're going to see how that works out. I don't know, because I'm used to going scene by couple, scene by scene for each couple. We're going to see just me share my thoughts about their progress and what I see in this episode. Let's see how that works. So we're going to start off with Elijah and Katina, because that's the first couple we saw. Now, after that, I don't know the order that they were in, so you're going to just have to get what I gave. But the reason I know they was first is because I wrote the episode number and the name of it on that page. Should have numbered them. I wasn't home this weekend. Nonetheless, I'm all like, oh, so we cooking. Oh, I like it. And it's not just, it's bacon. Bacon be popping. I'm excited. If he gonna cook breakfast, it could be a happy medium. So I was like, I'm here for it. Maybe I won't feel a way about you, Elijah. Remember now, they haven't been intimate at all. So when Elijah goes and sits with his friend, don't remember what his name is, he's like, I'm shocked that you guys haven't been intimate physically yet. What's the problem? What's the holdup? Why are you waiting? It is not like you. So for those of you who think that he's already hit, that they've already been intimate, they have not. And you can tell, for me, I can tell by the energy between the two of them. There's no way to fake that once you've become intimate with someone. There's a certain chemistry that happens, especially if you've enjoyed it. So if y'all think that they have, then that would, for me, mean that they didn't enjoy it, because they still seem a little distant and reserved. Oh, his friend's name is Jeff. And he asked him about red flags. What red flags are you seeing? He said she don't know how to grocery shop because she came back with water and some bread. Sometimes that's not grocery shopping. Sometimes I'm just going to the store to pick some stuff up. Maybe that's what she said. I'm going to the grocery store. You kind of shallow. And I like that Jeff let us know that he be in his head and he's got these high ass expectations that don't nobody know about. Okay. I added that last part because that's what happens. In relationships, we end up having expectations, but we don't share with those expectations with our boo, our bae, our love interest, our spouse. We don't do that. You understand what I'm saying? So we just automatically assume that they know what we want. No. Let them know what you are expecting. Let them know what your boundaries are. Talk to them and communicate so that this doesn't happen. You think she can't grocery shop, child? But he pretty much tells him, you know what? Stop overthinking. But this is the thing that got me. When Katina's friend Ariana came to visit, and Ariana hit us with the red flag for him, for me, was that he ain't never dated a black woman. I mouth open, paused, and I'm all like, you've never dated a black woman. Why? Can you not relate to us? Because you look like a black man. He had mentioned, that they weren't attracted to him. You look like a black man, sound like a black man, and talk like an unevolved black man. A very misogynistic, very patriarchal black man. A black man that does not know how to hear someone else's point of view and rationalize. Like, you don't know how to process stuff. Kind of, you don't understand what's been given to you kind of black man. Like, I was really like, like, oh, I see. So number one, we know his mama, his grandmama on his maternal side, if she got any sisters, they all white. So what he's used to dealing with is a white woman. And truth be told, if your mother is a decent person, you end up meeting someone who has the characteristics of your mom. Sometimes they kind of resemble. Sometimes I'll be feeling like y'all got issues. Like, I'm so glad my son got a chocolate babe. Listen, because no. However, she be having red flags. I said, and they look like mine. Okay, mine at our age. So I'm just saying, you kind of get with what you're used to. And he's used to someone being at his beck and call. Someone doing what he wants them to do. At least this is how I'm taking it. And for Katina to like, she was like, well, she came to his defense. Now, you know, she likes him because she came to his defense and was like, well, it wasn't that he's never dated a black woman. He's dated black women. He's never been in a serious relationship with one. Well, that's not what he told them. And I would think that he would tell them the right thing when he meets them initially. So I'm all like, well, there lies the problem. You don't know how to navigate black women. You don't know how to talk to us. So I just was like, okay, so now I'm really side-eyeing you. Oh, like you just took 5 steps back. Because what's wrong with black women? What is it that you don't like about black women? You are a black man. The world sees you as a black man. Why have you not dated a black woman? But then we get to the housewarming and they get to talking, right? Elijah starts talking to the friends. And we find out that Katina loves sexual intimacy. It is important to her. And so this being omitted out of the relationship, it may end up posing a problem for her. She may end up being Keith in the Iris and Keith situation. She's going to need physical intimacy. Sounds like her primary love language, at least one of them, will be physical touch. They don't really like him though. They say he like a hothead and they're going to keep their eye on him. I understand, child. I do. So let's go on and we're going to move to Mike and Jasmina. I actually like the progress it seems that they have made since they sat with Pastor Cal. That they actually may have done a reset. They look more relaxed. They look more calm. They look like maybe they're trying to get along. But let's see how long this lasts. The true testament is going to be when they disagree. How are they going to navigate that? I liked when he went to see his sister and his sister said to him, you know, a woman like Jasmina, who is independent, who stands on her own, who is autonomous, who knows what she wants, you're going to have to not get offended. She doesn't know you. She has a wall that protects herself, which is true. So don't be offended by everything she says. Be patient and let her get to know you. And her walls will slowly come down. Now, I do like that she said that, but I also feel like it's unfair for him to almost have to tiptoe around to prove himself in order for her to relax. I think that that's a disservice. Walls don't help people get to know you. So I get it though. I get it. Being autonomous myself, being a single woman, the majority of my life, doing the things myself, I have to learn how to let people in and not be so skeptical. I have a friend that thinks everybody is a scammer. Everybody's a scammer. And it's hard for people to get to know you when you constantly side-eyeing them or waiting for them to fuck up. And that's exactly what Jasmina was doing previously, and hopefully she won't be doing that going forward. Then we see Jasmina, and she goes and she visits her friend Sam. And when Sam busts her out and says, yo, sis, you think you right all the time too. I was like, oh, hello. Somebody tell the truth. Somebody explain it. Somebody let it be known that that's really your character trait that you see and you can't stand it. It's funny how when you see yourself in the mirror, when somebody is giving you back what you give, that you don't like it. So what does that say do? It says to work on it. Have you ever been in a relationship with somebody and then you can't stand something that they do? It irritates your soul. They're know-it-alls. They compete with you. And then the relationship is over. You talk to a friend and your friend tells you, well, that's you, sis. Time to work on it. Like, I'm glad that Sam was not afraid to share with her, that is who you are. So how dare you? How dare you? And then on top of that, she don't admit when she wrong. Somebody needs some self-work. Somebody needs to understand why they can't be wrong. Somebody needs to learn how to be accountable for what they say in their actions. And when they're wrong, it's okay to be like, oh my God, you were right. I just learned something new. Like, it's hard to apologize sometimes. Or just to admit that you're wrong. You saying finding a way to say that you're right. And then admitting, oh, I'm glad you taught me something new. Oh, you were right. Versus I'm wrong. Oh, you were right. You just taught me something. Oh, I'm so glad, is a way to say that you were wrong without saying you were wrong. Admitting that they are right automatically says that your answer and what you thought you knew was not right, was not correct. So figure out how to do that so that you can be accountable and acknowledge the shit that we do when we think we know everything. I'm not a know-it-all. Because when I talk, I know what I'm talking about. So we find Jasmina sitting talking with her sister-in-law, and she says she likes Michael. What? As her sister tells her, he has a big heart and get to know him, and I really think you're a good fit, and blase, blase. She says she likes him. Do y'all believe that? Do y'all believe that? Let's just think about it. Let's take out the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times that she was annoyed by him because of his tone, the tone. You know what I'm saying? Like, outside of that, do y'all think that she liked him? I don't know, sis. I don't know. So all of a sudden, after talking to Pastor Cal, you like Michael? What is it that you like about Michael? Give us one thing, because I need to know. Then we find out that she's Princess Petty, because her friend was like, yeah, sometimes we'll go, because he wanted to know, like, how do I engage her? How do I dismantle the anger? How do I approach her? And the friend was like, cautiously, because she's Princess Petty, can hold a grudge forever. You know what I mean? So that's kind of hard. And all that says to me is where Michael wants to figure out how we can move together and how our relationship can work. I'm just noticing that it's going to take a lot more work if she's not willing to do it too. But right now, they seem like they're having a good time. They're laughing. They're enjoying one another's company. So I'm happy about that. Let's talk about Noi and Steve, shall we? I'm going to say that Steve has a good grasp of communication. We haven't seen much of it, but this episode we are seeing a whole lot of it. A whole lot of him telling her, I do have income. We just need to sit down together and figure out what the I've been responsible for myself. I have a savings. And she's like, I ain't see no action. Like, I need to see what the plan is. Like, I need to know what your money is. It's only been 2 weeks, sis. It's only been 2 weeks. 2 weeks. You guys just got into this apartment maybe 3-4 days ago. Okay, a week tops that you've been in this apartment. You haven't seen much because you guys haven't done much. You're still getting to know one another. Maybe you do need to sit down and look at each other's finances and budget and see exactly how he navigates that space. Because right now, you just in your head, and we all can see it. It's just turning and turning and turning. Again, at the housewarming, the conversation comes up about kids. He has no problem articulating how he feels and where he thinks that Noi needs to have a more open mind about children and not being so stuck with the 3 kids. This episode, she's really just continually showing her immaturity. Her ability to not have much experience in relationships. And the sad part is the conversations about finances are happening. He doesn't feel supported in the things that he wants to do, which is a big deal. It's a big deal for men and women. We as women can find support easily because we can talk about it. with our friends. Men normally find only a few safe spaces that they can have these conversations, and your wife is one of those people. And so for him not to feel supported, for him not to think that she sees his ability outside of a 9-to-5, it's actually going to wear on him. This is one of the things that's going to easily wear on him. But more than anything else is her inability to communicate. When she walked out of the house because he called her on the noodles. She was cooking dinner or whatever, and his noodles hadn't got put on. She said she knew that there were 2 different type of noodles. His noodles didn't get put on. In addition to his noodles not getting put on, when he put them on, she didn't watch them, so they got overcooked. And when he said something about it, she decided to pack up herself and her little sushi dog and leave. But to make it even worse, not answer his phone calls or his reply to his text messages for over a night. Now, we know that it was more than just the noodles. She might have forgotten about the noodles, right? Because it's just, I've been a single woman and I've only been cooking for me. So cooking 2 separate noodles didn't really dawn on her, didn't really make, didn't click. You know what I mean? She wasn't aware. I can give her that, but what I can't give her is leaving and not communicating with him. Leaving, first of all, period, because we're married, and not dealing with whatever your issue is head on. Because we know it had nothing to do with no damn noodles. Cousin Easy, I totally spaced. You're absolutely right. I'm so used to just cooking for me that I forgot about your noodles. I forgot. Even though, how could you forget when he comes over, he puts them on, and then he walks away? Or I thought you were going to be watching them yourself. Anything, but you decided to pick up and leave. And then not communicate, not answer. That's not healthy communication. That's not a healthy way to have a relationship. That's not going to work. And those are all the things that Steve vocalized to her. And she acted like she didn't understand it. What is your issue, Noi? What is your actual issue with him? Y'all let me know down below in the comments. Is it his money? Is it because she don't think he got none? Does she think that it's not steady? Does she think that it's like he's fly by night because he's a free spirit? It's probably all of those things. But she's going to have to be able to articulate her feelings. Shutting down and walking off and not saying anything is not okay. But then, to add insult to injury, she goes onto Instagram. Did I write down what she say all together? She goes on to Instagram and says something. I don't know what she said, but what it was a hint to say no to things that you don't like, including in relationships, which was a straight dig at him, which is not okay. Issues in your relationship should basically be shared between the two of you. Yes, sometimes we need outlets, but you have to be careful with that, because now you've put a perception of who your husband is or who your wife is. You've now painted a picture of them for someone, whether it be a friend or your mother, your sister, your cousin, your brother, your uncle, whomever, okay, your little puppy. You have now painted a picture for them, and that's the picture that they're going to keep. Because what happens is we normally talk about the negative things, but we don't talk about how great they are all those other times. And all we see as your friend, your family, is the bad things that he's done. Now, if you know Noi, you know that this is probably her pattern. This is probably who she is. And this is probably why she's on Married at First Sight to begin with. Because she has ineffective communication skills. I don't even know how she got a job in talent acquisition, because she ain't really got to talk to people in talent acquisition. It's just a whole bunch of looking through resumes, putting the posts together, talking to the managers and stuff. But even then, she don't seem to have the effective skills. But we're going to move right along and talk about Lindsay and Mark. The train wreck of a relationship that they have. Mark's friend John comes to visit. He talks about how he likes that she's supportive. And that he likes that she helps lift the load. But what he does not like, before he even got to that, he talked about how he thought that they had everything in common, all these great things in common, and then he found out, oh, she's a hothead, and it's uncomfortable, and it's inappropriate. Like, she says things at the wrong time, and they show us all little bits and pieces, and she continues to do it. And, it's evident to to his friend John, because he's normally head over heels. And poor Mark is like, I can't get there because of all of these other things, and this isn't how I operate. And Cher's like, if it wasn't for this situation in the past, if it was a different situation, if she was not my wife, if this was not Married at First Sight, I would have left already. I don't deal with people who operate and act like this, who talk like this, who are mean like this, who are confrontational like this, who says whatever they want and think that it's okay. I mean, you should be able to say how you feel, but there should be a little bit of a filter. She can be a bit much. And as much as I was saying originally how much I think that she's a good person, at the core, her missteps are overshadowing what's great about her being supportive and wanting to be helpful. Her constant berating of him and nagging and inappropriate comments and constantly getting into it with people, it's overshadowing the good parts of her. It's almost like they're diminishing, like you no longer are about to see them. So at the housewarming, the only thing that I really took from this was that the friends had told him, he wanted to know, how do I get her out of that? How do I disengage her? How do I pull her back in? How do I tell her that I don't like this behavior? They said, don't tell her what to do, but tell her how it makes you feel. So don't say, Lindsay, you shouldn't talk like that. Tell her, Lindsay, I'm uncomfortable when you say X, Y, and Z. I don't think he took heed to it. And I'm going to tell you why as we talk about Alyssa and Chris, who we are still seeing because they have to share with the group that they are divorced. Alyssa's still trying to spin it as if she tried, and we all watched her not try. Chris, has to tell his mom and is nervous about it, but his mom is extremely supportive. And I feel so bad for him because as he's talking to her, you can tell that this is something that he really wanted, and his eyes are welling in the back. And I just want you to know, Chris, that somebody is watching this and is excited about dating you now. I'm sure you're dating. I'm sure you've dated several people, but I am absolutely sure there is a line of people who are like, well, I'm willing to give it a shot because the man is willing to try. That's half the battle right there, wanting to see how we can make this work. That's half the battle. Compromise, commitment, compromise, communication. It's a whole bunch of C's, but them is my favorite three. Commitment to the relationship, even if it's one to many. Commitment to the one that you're in with me. Commitment, communication, being able to have a conversation authentically, and not be afraid to share what you feel, but do it in love and kindness. Compromise, being able to say, how can we make this work together? I don't know what happens with me sometimes. Anyway, so we see Alyssa with her friend, and she spins it. And, her friend is like, I really wish I would have had an opportunity to meet him and have a conversation with him so that I can gauge it for myself. Because she know her friend. She know her friend is a lot. Her friend is a whole bunch of a lot. I'm tired of her just constantly playing the victim. She shares that he didn't put any effort in, but he put all the effort in to the point that he was like, if you give me 1%. To me, that's almost begging. He did the right thing. He made the right choice for himself. So they meet up with everybody at the bowling alley so that they can share their outcomes. Lindsay shares that Mark ate his first taco. Steve tries to ask a question. Lindsay interrupts. And then starts talking about the poop spray in the air, which is a real thing. Close the toilet. You should put the top of the toilet down. You should think about your toothbrush, and you do have that poop E. coli that comes up, like the fumes of it. It's a thing. I get what she was saying, but this was not the right time for it. Inappropriate. Don't know when to have the right conversation. But Alyssa and Chris, they come in separately. They ultimately share that they are getting divorced, that this is not working. And Alyssa talks about how she tried her best. But in the process, Lindsay makes a snarky remark about Katina rolling her eyes or whatever. And it just kind of ignites after that. Actually, what had happened is that Lindsay felt the tension and she asked him what his problem was. And he told her that, I don't like when you do that. I don't like when you could have just kept your mouth shut. You know the girl don't like you already, and so it just makes it more explosive. You could have, but you did not. You chose not to. He walks away and do what you do best. Like, it became this whole thing. She does not know how to manage her emotions. Chris said it best. She has impulse. What did he call it? She has an impulse control issue that she has. And the whole time, like, he's talking to Mark, Lindsay's in there. I'm talking about, I have to say some of the stuff that she said. My husband is a freaking idiot. He makes $60,000 a year. Let me show you how to be a real bad bitch. She's crying in the bathroom and is just being really nasty about his dress, his attire, how much money it makes, where he works, because he works at a gym, I believe it is. Like, being really, 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 really nasty. No one wants to be with a woman like that. No one. Not even the loneliest person wants to deal with someone who is going to tear them a new one like this. Like, she was reading him for filth. And my problem even more was that the producers were in there egging her on. You heard them in the background. I was overwhelmed by her responses and the things that she said. She definitely has some anger issues. She definitely needs to go and get her some help and figure out how to manage that and articulate how she feels in a different way. I don't think Chris is going to say yes. I think Chris wants to walk away. We're going to find out later on tonight. Right now, the only couple that I see really may make it is Elijah and Katina. But if he don't give her none soon, that's going to be out. Because the moment Michael and Jasmina have an altercation, a disagreement, I don't know how that's going to be handled. So they going to be out. You got Steve and Noi. Steve not feeling supported. Noi needing him to go get a regular 9-to-5 job so it could be steady and stable or whatever. That ain't gonna work. Then you got the Lindsay issue here. That ain't gonna work. Like, so, I don't know, y'all. Any of these couples still your favorite? Anybody you think still gonna make it? Let me know down below in the comments. I am your girl, Talisa Ray. Thank you so much for watching my review of Married at First Sight, Season 14, Episode 8. Striking balance. There's no balance stricken here. Like, what are we talking about? I guess maybe, I don't fucking know. If it's your first time visiting my channel, click the subscribe button to become a ray of sunshine. There's that notification bell next to it. Click it and click all so you're alerted of when I upload videos. Like this video because you like me. I mean, all 15 of y'all. Like it because you like my smile, because I don't know, my nail color, because I'm lit. Oh no, that's not what it say. It say still I rise. Because I can laugh at myself. Then go and share this with your friends so they can join in on the conversation. I love you in real life and want every good thing that God has in store for you, even if you don't know what that is for yourself. Hugs and kisses and lots of love. I'll catch you on the next review.